Number 10, Terrifier 2.
Aren't you a little old to be trick-or-treating? Wait a minute, aren't you that guy from the costume shop? You are.
After waiting 6 years to release the sequel to 2016's Terrifier, director Damien Leone unleashed a gory fright fest that audiences could hardly stomach.
Stop! Please, stop! Please!
Everybody!
The low-budget movie gained incredible traction, especially for one without mainstream advertising. Although it was supposed to have a 1-week limited theatrical run, Terrifier 2 ended up in 1,550 theatres over 4 weeks. Its 2-hour and 18-minute runtime left plenty of room for relentless gore, leading to people fainting, vomiting, and walking out. In one case, emergency medical services were called. Reports of illness in theatres became so common that executive producer Steve Barton released a warning on Twitter for the faint of heart.
You got him. It's over now. Okay.
Number 9, Freaks.
Their code is a law unto themselves. Offend one, and you offend them all.
Todd Browning made horror movie history for directing more than just Dracula. In 1932, he released Freaks, with the intention of creating an even more extreme movie. By hiring carnival performers with real deformities instead of actors in prosthetics, Browning caused immense discomfort in less than accepting audiences.
What are you going to do? What are you, a man or a baby?
Please, please, you make me ashamed.
While Freaks might look like simple exploitation today, it was totally shocking in the 30s. In fact, one woman almost sued MGM, claiming the film caused her to miscarry. As a result, the studio mercilessly cut the footage down to 64 minutes, and the original cut is considered lost. Even at a little over an hour, Freaks was pulled from several theatres in the US and banned in the UK for nearly 30 years.
Don't cry. Don't run. Don't cry. I love you.
Number 8, The Phantom of the Opera. The 1920s version of The Phantom of the Opera has a troubled history, undergoing many changes in directors, scripts, edits, and endings. The most effective cuts of the film are from 1925 and 1929. The silent cut from 1925 was the first to show the world Lon Chaney's terrifying makeup as Eric the Phantom. The effects, which Chaney created and applied himself, were kept secret until public premieres. When Christine pulled off Eric's mask, the warped face was so shocking that people screamed and fainted. This film gave us Chaney's most famous role, and is credited with starting the Universal Monster franchise, even if Eric isn't officially part of the series. Number 7, Raw. Cannibalism has a long history in the horror genre, but one recent on-screen representation really left its mark. 2016's Raw, focusing on a vegetarian's descent into meat-eating after a hazing ceremony for veterinary school, realistically and graphically shows many instances of eating raw animals and human flesh. As you might expect, there were plentiful faintings and walkouts in theatres. At the premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival, emergency medical services needed to tend to audience members who couldn't quite stomach the material.
Je comprends pas, il y a bien une rééducation de prévue, non? Comment ça se passe?
Vu qu'il n'y a aucun air endommagé, ça m'étonnerait. Je vois pas l'intérêt.
Vous la laissez dans cet état-là?
Writer-director Julia Ducournau may have impressed critics with the movie, but a lot of viewers were left uneasy with the content.
J'espère qu'il était bon, moi. T'as un goût de curry.
Number 6, Ghostwatch. In 1992, BBC One thoroughly freaked out audiences by airing the TV movie Ghostwatch.
We're going to investigate one of the most baffling and fascinating areas of human experience, the supernatural. Tonight, television is going ghost hunting in an unprecedented scientific experiment where we hope to show you, for the first time, irrefutable proof that ghosts really do exist.
It posed as a live event hosted by real newscasters Michael Parkinson and Sarah Green, showing supernatural occurrences in documentary style. Viewers could even call and discuss their own experiences. Before they were connected, a pre-recorded message told them that the program was fictional. However, since many people called, the line was often engaged, furthering the perception that the paranormal was reality.
Yes. All right, Kevin, I think we've had enough. I think I get the picture, certainly. Thank you very much indeed for calling.
Perhaps most troubling is the case of Martin Denham, who tragically took his own life 5 days after it aired. His family blamed the BBC, eventually going to the Broadcasting Standards Commission, which ruled Ghostwatch as too upsetting to have broadcasted as it did.
Sarah?
Number 5. Jaws. 1975 saw the birth of the summer blockbuster in the form of Steven Spielberg's Jaws. Based on Peter Benchley's novel of the same name, the movie follows a series of shark attacks on the popular tourist destination Amity Island. The terror of swimming in the ocean with great white sharks soon spread around the world, as Jaws broke box office records in several countries, including the US, Japan, and Brazil. Real great white sharks, however, aren't ruthless human eaters. Actually, in all of 2022, there were only 57 unprovoked shark attacks on humans worldwide. Nonetheless, panic about sharks in the 1970s and onwards led to a massive increase in hunting the animals, and more than 120 shark species are considered endangered in 2023.
$10,000 for me by myself. For that you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Number 4. A Serbian film. To start with, several countries have banned a Serbian film entirely, even after editing out the most brutal scenes. This controversial movie centers on a financially struggling adult film star who is willing to do anything to make money. Although we can't go into detail about his descent into depravity, we can tell you that it is truly disgusting and morally bankrupt. For those willing to stomach a watch and look past the shock, the movie is supposedly a metaphor for colonialism and the current state-sponsored nature of the Serbian film industry. Even so, a Serbian film has sparked many more debates about going too far on film than it has about social injustices.
Srećna srpska porodica.
Number 3. Cannibal Holocaust. While cannibalism was an incredibly popular subject for Italian movies in the 1970s and 80s, there is one that is still shocking enough to remain banned in several countries for over 4 decades. This movie is Ruggero Deodato's 1980 grindhouse piece, Cannibal Holocaust.
It's unbelievable. It's horrible. I can't understand the reason for such cruelty.
As the first found footage film, it blurred the lines between fiction and reality, possibly too well. It caused such an uproar upon release that Deodato was arrested on charges of obscenity, violence, and murder.
The Yakumo Indian is a primitive, and he has to be respected as such. You know, did you ever think of the Yakumo point of view, that we might be the ones who are savages?
Well, I never thought of it that way, but it's an interesting idea.
Yes.
The rumour that the movie is a snuff film was later debunked, but it turned out that plenty of animals were really killed.
John, I want this material burned. All of it. Yeah.
Number 2. Psycho. It might seem tame by today's standards, but Psycho was utterly obscene and terrifying when it came out in 1960. Aside from the famous stabbing in the shower, audiences saw unmarried lovers sharing a bed, while scantily clothed, and the first on-screen flushing of a toilet. No, we don't actually see a knife slashing flesh or any nudity, but thanks to Hitchcock's crafty cuts, we think we do.
Mother, oh God, mother, blood. blood.
Psycho was such a different new experience for cinematic history that one journalist who had reviewed films for The Observer for 32 years resigned from her post after having to watch it.
She just goes a little mad sometimes.
Number 1, The Exorcist.
Well then, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Damien Karras.
And I'm the devil. Now kindly undo these straps.
Stories of demons possessing humans have scared people for centuries, but perhaps the most hysteria-inducing modern instance of this is William Friedkin's 1973 film, The Exorcist.
Do something, Doctor, please help her.
It took the world by storm, with its massive popularity and wildly controversial content. Initial audience reactions included fainting, heart attacks, vomiting, a miscarried pregnancy, and emergency medical services being called to movie theatres. Even before release, several creepy situations occurred during filming. Family members of the cast passed away, 2 cast members died, and a massive fire broke out on the set, delaying filming for 6 weeks, but sparing the bedroom where the exorcism takes place. A priest was even called to bless the production.
It's the power of Christ that compels you.
Although some called the film evil, that did nothing to repel audiences. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.